Hey YouTube, Abby here. In today's Overwatch video, I'll be coaching another silver Genji player. This was sent in by Helena. In the comment sections of my Mercy VOD review, they basically said that they just don't know what to do sometimes on Genji. So I did gloss through this VOD a little bit. I have an idea of what you do right and what you do wrong. I like the fact that your mechanics are pretty decent. Now, there are some little areas that you can improve, but I definitely figured out the mistakes over here, and I'll be talking to you about that as the VOD goes on. So to begin, over here, you're doing poke damage. That's perfectly fine. Just a little heads up. Double jump a lot more. Double jumping not only makes it harder for them to hit you, but against that little situation, you could have jumped over the shield, shot some shurikens, and started to build all charge a lot earlier, right? So now that the enemy team is kind of pushing up and you may start to feel pressure, it's important for you to back out and play closer to your team and your supports, right? What I don't like here is that rather than doing that, you go in. Now, just because this guy is making a mistake doesn't mean that you do too. I don't know if this was your duo or your friend, but this is the wrong play. Anyways, so with what's going on now, they are beginning to pay attention to you, and now you got like a lot of people looking at you. You need to play safer. This is playing way too aggressive. This is a free kill, and just like I said, it's a free kill. All right. So play safer. Play safer. Take your duels. From the side, like surprise the enemy from the side of or by flanking behind them. Try not to put too much attention on yourself from a like like if they're looking at you and you're like in front of them. Try not to take that type of attention because it's a lot easier to fight up against a Genji in that perspective. And okay, so all right, fair enough. You want to regroup with your team, you need to deflect over here. Okay, so fair enough. We're moving around the map now, and you want to prioritize the Mercy. I like this. I like the target selection. That's really, really good. So, left click is used for long range, and right click is used for close range. So I need to see the right click a lot more. I like that. Over there, you could have actually secured the kill on the Junkrat. The Lucio secured it for you, but you had your dash. So be a little bit more aware about your cooldowns when you do have them or not, because in that scenario, not only do you get the kill on the Junkrat, but your dash resets, and you could have chained it and moved over here quickly and then start to get another pick. Anyways, this fight goes on and you're pressuring the Moira. I really like how good you are at landing these shurikens and who you choose to pressure. Like I really, really like the target selection. So far, target selection and shuriken usage is pretty decent. Moving on, I want to pay attention to positioning a little bit more because that is the most key and crucial aspect about how you play Genji, right? And you need to double jump a little bit more, if you don't mind. Double jumping is crucial. And okay, so Junkrat, you don't need to commit to this. You need to get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first of all, right, when you duel characters like Junkrat, right, Junkrat's biggest disadvantage is like when he fights in an open area. Let's say if he's fighting you somewhere here, it's a lot harder for him to land his shots consistently. So he's only relying on his concussion mine to deal damage to you effectively. In a scenario like that, it's easier for you to win the duels because you're bunny hopping around constantly, and it's easier for you to hit the shurikens. Now, hypothetically, it's also easier for you to hit the shurikens down here, but it's also easier for him to land a shot. Now, to be fair, this is more of an awareness issue because you saw him put down the trap and you just kept approaching him with deflect. You need to respect that. And you need to respect characters like Moira, who like over here, so Moira, like you cannot deflect anything that she does except for the orb, right? So when she's like doing a little suck, her this tentacle soul ripping thingy, whatever, like you need to back out because like she is a soft counter to Genji. Like she can put pressure on the hero, right? So again, in this scenario, you just got to be careful because now he's having the time of his life. He got the pick. He's happy, but it's fine, right? Just a little heads up on what you could have done better over there. Your so for what I'm noticing right now is your mechanics are pretty decent, but your awareness about the situation is kind of poor, right? And I understand because you expressed that in the comments that I'm not sure what to do sometimes. Okay, so we're moving in. You pressured the Moira pretty well. You're coming back. You're looking around for your team. That's okay. They're in front of you. And this is what I meant. So you gotta move out of the way as fast as possible, right? Try to do that a little bit earlier next time. She was very close to getting the elimination on you. The moment you hear the voice line, try to react a little bit more to the noise of things rather than the visual confirmation of things. That is a very important advice that I can kind of share. I really, really like the. Okay, so right. So when you pressure this, think of it like this, right? When you pressure this Mercy, she was already getting out of the team fight. She was already gonna like be with her team and wait it out and then move in with the rest of her team, right? You don't have to overcommit and confirm the kill. Yes, it's nice if you can, but what happens is it puts you in situations like this where you can easily get killed. Now, I think that's what happens here. He's pocketing the diva, and unfortunately, you don't have the HP pool or the damage to kind of outdo this. Now, if you had a teammate with you or your own pocket, you could have committed to that, aggressive push. But again, right now, what I'm noticing is that like you have the right understanding for targets. You have a good shuriken control. Only little mistakes here and there with the shurikens, but it's fine. The shurikens they're not that much of a big deal. Rather, how you choose to take your engagements is a lot more important. So again, if you push the mercy away, let her go. It's fine. It's more important not to die. You need to reduce how much you die, right? That's more important than anything else. Do not dash like that. Do not get overexcited that, oh, I've started to pressure something, I want to just go in. Try to let them fall to a lower HP, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. This is what I meant about the awareness. That, Minefield has a very loud sound effect when it's activated. Hammond announces it, Wrecking Ball, and you need to be a lot more careful right now. Awareness seems to be your biggest flaw. See, you were this close to hitting this mine, this close. I know you did not hit it, but you have to be just a little bit more careful, right? Because you did hit a few mines and it's brought you to low HP, and you didn't play passively, rather you played aggressively, and it cost you your life. I don't even think you were aware that you got hit by a mine, and you were 1 HP. So awareness seems to be kind of the big problem here. I hope that I get to see something else going into this match, because right now I don't like repeating myself, because right now we've identified that's the problem that's going on. So what's going on now? Okay, again, awareness, right? You have to look around in the map a little bit. Be careful. Whoa, oh, okay, wow, what is this? What is this blade? What are we doing here? Why? Okay, you are overcommitting. You are so dedicated, and it's not working out in your favor. You've done this. Okay, you have to think about it like this. You've done this how many times now in one match? Has it worked out even once? No, exactly, right? Okay, so if you watched my Genji guides, right, one of the most important things I talked about when Dragonblading is you need to be able to scout things out. Now you're in this position, you have a good scouting vantage point. Like what I mean by that is that you just need to be able to see what's in front of you before you decide on a blade. Right now, all you can see is this Wrecking Ball, and Wrecking Ball he's really good. Well, he's a tank, and he's really good at just tanking damage, right? So if he's not low or half HP, going up against him with blade is a waste of blade. Regardless, there is nothing in front of you except your teammates. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 teammates, right? And you're 5, and I'm sure somebody's behind you. The Lucio's behind you. You can see his little particle effects. Oh, sorry, that's a Zarya, and our Lucio is, I don't know, but that's not the point. The point here is that you're with your team and you only see one enemy. So what was the point of this Dragonblade, right? We're not going to talk about this because I already spoke about the awareness thing, so I want to focus on something else. But what is this Dragonblade? Not only did your diva waste her bomb, this is like potentially one of the worst bombs I've ever seen in my life. But I understand it's low elo, right? And people just kind of randomly do things without thinking about it. But you need to think about it. You didn't really see anybody. They're not grouped up. They're not low. They're like, this is a very random blade that's just trying to put pressure for the sake of putting pressure. And just because there's like only 4 or 5 seconds left and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything with my ult, I should, doesn't mean you should all the time. Now, for example, if this ball, he went Wrecking Ball to probably touch point and stall it out, right? If he stalls it out and you wasted blade here, you guys don't have anything to retake the payload back there. And if potentially they win the team fight, you've just wasted blade that you could have used to retake that point, or to put pressure and help your team retake the point, right? So I'm fairly certain again you die here, because that seems to be a repeated theme, is that you very heavily overcommit and you take yourself right into the enemy. Like it's like you're throwing yourself into the enemy, right? Now you might make an argument and say that, well, I'm supposed to be up in their face to do damage. Yes, you are. But there are ways to do about it, right? And you have to respect their side of the map as they respect your side of the map, right? So if you watch again in my play styles, part 3, I believe it's part 3 of the best Genji guide. Check it out. So in that, I talked a lot about the different play styles of how we respect their side of the map and how we move around our side of the map. So that's very, very important to do, right? Anyways, I'm going to see you on the attacking side now. I hope that the attacking side goes a lot better than the defense, because I think you just need to play more passive on the defense side and be a lot more patient. This is not good. um I'm gonna ignore this because that, again, that's an awareness thing, and I've already said that a million times now. So now you need to understand Genji's matchups, right? Against the flying characters. I know in my videos you've probably seen me pop up against them, but that's like over 3,000 hours of like practice, gameplay, and trial and error experimenting. Genji's matchups against Pharah and Echo, and just flying characters in general, even Mercy. Mercy's like a different case because she kind of stays close to the ground, but against Farah, it's kind of it's not in his favor, right? So this is usually the time where you want to consider picking a hit scan, but I know you want me to coach the Genji gameplay. So in this case, if let's assume you have a hit scan on your team who's focusing the Farah, and you take it upon yourself to do something different, you need to go on the flank. Okay, this is not good. So what's happening here is like a lot of things are happening and you're taking damage. You need to use deflect a lot more, right? Deflect is coming out very, very rarely from you. It comes out barely here and there. The Fire got the pick on you with the splash damage, so that's like, it's understandable, right? But you need to move around the map a little bit more. Another advice is, if you're playing against Farah, try to stay a lot more indoors, right? You have to be careful. You have to get out. Just use dash, get out, get healed up, and try to take a different flank route. I don't like the like your team just seems to not care about you either. Like your supports, their reaction time to getting you healed up is very low. So if you're in a situation or scenario like this where the healing, like your supports just kind of don't pay attention to you, you need to start memorizing where the health packs are. Now there's a health pack down here. It's a mini. We have another mini over here. We have a mega somewhere back here, I believe, right? So you can start like planning your flanks like that. Like, hey, I might go somewhere like here on this side of the map. I might kind of go around and do this, and if I take damage, I'm gonna come back and take this mega, and I'm gonna play around it, right? So start playing around the health packs because it's really, really important, right? Anyways, moving on, you're pressuring the diva and everything. You need to double jump a lot more. Again, one of the advice that I gave you early on was that, oh my goodness, all right. So again, I don't want to repeat the awareness thing. I'm gonna say, like, you need to take your duels a little bit better. Do not take them in super tight corners, and do not take them in, you know, in way too open wide areas to the point where the enemy can just like kind of run away from you. Find a good middle ground, right? And you're looking at the wrong target. Like, you can't effectively duel the Pharah in this scenario. You need to just kind of flank and try to find a better way to get a pick on maybe somebody like Symmetra, or put pressure on the Orisa or the, oh my goodness, the the Brigitte. So what I did not like about this, I'm gonna talk about this in just a second. See, so what's going on when I say that when you play in this position, what is wrong with playing in this middle area with your team, right? It's so easy for them to just look at you and then just delete you from the game, right? That's kind of something you're learning now, right? Early on, I said that too, is that, you want to double jump a lot. You want to double jump a lot, like all the time, basically, right? And you don't want to like just fully throw yourself into line of sight. Now, the problem here, right, is that this Pharah is not being pressured. And Pharah Mercy against like a Genji is like really good. Like, unless you're a very, very experienced Genji player, like you're not getting through this. This is a very tough situation for you to get through, and this is where you need to expand your hero pool, right? Overwatch is kind of it's like a game of rock paper scissors, but like in 3D, right? So you were paper, and now she is scissors. So she's cutting through you guys, and you need to pick something that's a rock, you know, and you need to counter that scissors, right? And you need to make sure that they stop cutting, and you like fully brute force your way through it. So this is kind of the recurring theme here. I know you're a new player, right? So understanding the game from a very in-depth perspective is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of mistakes. It's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of hours you have to put in, right? Because like I said, this is like the hardest hero to play in the game. It's not going to be easy. right? And as you can see, these little tight corners that you keep going in, they betray you. You're not deflecting. Like so many of these shots that the Pharah threw at you, you could have deflected to save yourself some time. And why are you standing here? Like you took the health pack once and then you relied on it. I think you took it once, right? And if not, then it's fine. But you're relying way too much on it, right? If the Pharah is shooting at you, why aren't you deflecting and sending it back to her? Or why don't you just move out of the way? Instead of wasting your time staying down there, move out of the way, move towards this health pack, move towards the mega that I talked about earlier, right? So you have to memorize these locations on the map. You can load up custom games, you can explore the map in any way you like, or when you're playing quick play or whatever, and start practicing or just memorizing these type of things, right? So this is the last team fight, and you have Dragonblade, and you only really have to push so far. So I hope that this Dragonblade is a lot better than the previous Dragonblade. The enemy team is slightly grouped up, but you have an opportunity here. You're not deflecting again. Again, you're dying because like the Pharah zones you out because she knows you won't be able to counter her effectively. The only thing you have is to use deflect to give yourself a little bit of a breathing space to get out of that scenario, right? You didn't deflect here, you didn't deflect back then, you didn't deflect the fight before. Deflect is something you're not used to yet, and you need to understand how to use it properly, especially against projectiles and bullets, right? So, like this attack has been very poor. The defense was decent because you knew how to chase after targets. You knew that the supports need to go first, and you took different angles. But right now, all I see you doing is going the exact same path, the exact same route, and trying to just like, oh, I want everybody to look at me, and then I'll die, and then I'll go back to spawn, and then I'll rinse and repeat the same thing. So you need to not do that. You need to try and go for maybe longer flanks, like try to get around and isolate, like kind of just for a second have a look at who's who, who's where, and then jump from one target to another. And this will take time. I left some workshop codes in my previous videos to help improve like practicing the combos and moving from target to target, like getting used to the dash resets. Now see over there, like I can see the reason you're looking up is like you're spamming shift. Like I need to blade. This is a panic blade. This is a panic blade. Even if you tell me otherwise, this is a panic blade. This is a panic blade because you got 4 seconds left. You're panicking that I've not done anything with ultimate and we're about to lose. This blade is destined to fail just from the panic alone. That I've not done anything and need to do it. That is not how you do it. Remember, in my Dragon Blade and in my playstyles guide video, I know you told me you've been keeping up with it and everything. I talked about how there's a moment where you kind of first scout everything out. You play it in your head that this is what's going to happen, this is who I'm going to go on, and then you do these things, right? Not in the heat of the moment, but just a few seconds before that, right? So we'll watch this blade and then I'll explain how it could have been better. Oh my goodness. Not the best target to go after either. One free kill on the Symmetra in her own mistake, but again, yet another poor blade of realistically doing nothing for your team. So let me at least explain how this blade could have been better, right? First of all, it seems like you're struggling a lot with managing your cooldowns as well. Whether it's using the cooldown or whether it's knowing you have it or not. You must get good at your eye movement from top right of the screen, top bottom right of the screen, wherever it needs to be, bottom left to watch your HP bar, all this type of stuff, right? This area is not a good area. Why? It's completely closed. You cannot see anything. You only see something when you come out here. Now let me give you a scenario, right? Let's assume you went this way. Do not go this way because you're doing still the same thing, right? It's making it easier for them to pressure you. And you've already felt that in the game that, okay, like I don't have the tanks or the resources on my side to help me take these type of routes. So let's assume you take the staircase or you climb the wall and you come up here, right? This gives you a better line of sight of, okay, I see what's going on. Now, for example, if it was me, I came up here, I dash up into the sky, I pull out blade, and then I'm like now turning to look down. These flyers, while to a certain extent I could rely on myself to get them, the easiest kill over here is Symmetra. And this is how you get your first kill, right? Now, why is Symmetra the easiest kill? She does not have any stuns. She does not have any movement-based abilities. She is just sitting here. You just need to go from that point to the sky and then come down to her and then move to the next target. Now, who's the better next target? The better next target to move towards is the Brigitte. Again, while she does have a stun, while she does have a way to kind of boop you away, this is where double jumping around her and moving like in a circle will come in handy. And now from her, either you try to pressure the Diva, the Orisa, or the Mercy, or the Pharah. This is dependent on you. But the least you can do is give yourself free kills, right? You want to be able to give yourself a free kill. And targets like this are an easy way to just open up and give you and your team some breathing room, right? So look at this map perspective, right? Look at their perspective. That's what I'm trying to show you right now. This perspective for them is, oh, this is easy for us to shoot into because said person has nowhere to run around, right? This is easy to shoot into for the same reason. But up here, not only is there like a little bit more space in this area, but you have so much more room to dash, right? With that also being said, try to use your wall climb a lot more. Do not rely on dash so much. Try to rely on your wall climb a lot more to traverse the map, right? A lot of the areas where you were using the dash, you can also use wall climb. Like for example, if you wanted to maybe climb up to this high ground, you don't need to dash and then come up here. Just push a little bit forward, climb this wall, come up here, and now you already have the dash. You're not waiting 7 seconds for it to come back. Now you can use dash and then repeat the thing that I said earlier. So for the time being, that is the advice that I can share with you. It is from an individualistic perspective and not a team play perspective. I saw a lot of mistakes that your team made as well, but I understand I'm solo coaching, and that is at the moment this is the best advice that I can give you off of one game. So if you want to follow up with me, if you want to give me some more VODs and then share your thought process with me, I'd really appreciate that because I have to guess a lot when I'm doing offline coaching, right? Like, oh, the reason you might have done this is because of this or that. So either I do a live stream or through different means like the Discord call or anything like that. But at the moment, this is the best advice that I can give you from my own gatherings and individual perspective. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. If other Genji players or aspiring Genji players have watched this video, then I hope this is some advice that you can also take away. Liking and subscribing are free ways to support the channel. And I have a lot more content coming out soon. We have a Genji matchup guide that's coming to ensure we avoid scenarios like what happened here and all sorts of other things, right? So nothing to be worried about, nothing to be concerned about. You are growing as a player. And for us to grow in anything we do, we must understand that flaws are the key. Once we understand our flaws, we'll be able to overcome them and move on to success. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.